So the idea is that if good schools can't exist in a particular place, is it possible to create some kind of a self-organizing system that will produce some kind of learning? What kind of learning will it be, and who can use it?
In 1990s, India had a crisis where teachers were refusing to posting to the rural areas because of the level of infrastructure there. And so we had schools in the rural areas that had been waiting for teachers for decades, for the trained teachers. And so when the discussion was about how do we make more teachers or encourage or motivate more teachers to take up jobs in the rural areas, this is what he was asking. Do we need teachers? It's a dead weird. When people are talking, having very serious discussions, people thought he was crazy. Because who thinks like that? So what he did is, because nobody believed him, he decided to do it himself. So he was a software developer at that time. Today he's a professor. And the office, his office was next to a slum. So what he did is that he drilled a hole in his office on the wall, and then he put a computer there. A computer with with everything there, and then put internet there, and then he stored a hidden camera because he just wanted to see what happens. If his question was, if you're trying to get teachers to the rural areas, what if they don't? And he was asking, don't you guys think we need to start thinking of a backup plan? And so he put a computer there, and it was a very interesting experiment. And it was very, in fact, just have a look at this.
In New Delhi, in January of 1999, I used to work for a company called NIIT at that time, an education and training company, also a software development company in Delhi. They had this very plush office, and surrounding the office was a boundary wall. And just outside the boundary wall, there was a big sprawling slum. Inside the office, there were thousands and thousands of computers and networks and young men and women who were software engineers, teachers, and so on. What I did was I broke an opening in the wall because I wanted to make the two sides meet. So I broke an opening there, put a glass pane against it, put the monitor against the glass pane, put broadband internet on it, put it on altavista.com, which was the search engine of those days, put a touchpad also buried into the wall, and I just left it there. It was about 3 feet above the ground. Then I asked a colleague of mine to take a video camera and go around and just film anything interesting that might happen. This is what he brought back after 8 hours. That's NIIT in the background. And this is what got called eventually the hole in the wall. After 8 hours, we saw this 8-year-old boy on your right. He is the son of the local tobacco seller. His father sells cigarettes outside. To his left is a student, a 6-year-old girl. What they were doing was very interesting. He was teaching her how to browse. Now that raised a lot of questions. Is this real? Does language matter? They're not supposed to know English. Will the computer last? Or will they just break it and take it away? That's what my boss asked me. And did anyone teach them? When I came back after 2 months, I saw this 8-year-old boy and the 12-year-old girl, and they were playing some kind of a game on the computer. As soon as they saw me, they said, we need a better mouse and a faster processor. So then I asked them, how do you know all this? And they said something which is very important for educationists to know, I think. They said, if you give us you've given us a computer which works only in English, so we taught ourselves English in order to use it. This is diametrically opposite to the adult perception of learning. An adult would have said, You've given me a machine that works in a language that I don't know, therefore I cannot use it. Two negatives. The children convert it to two positives. If I don't know the language, if I learn the language, I can use it. So very important, I think, for pedagogues to understand this.
Isn't it interesting that when learners, when you give learners a task, you give them, like for example, he gave it in English, and so they train themselves English so that he can be able to learn. It would have been the opposite if we were adults. And so I've been asking myself, I think it is time I ask more questions. In fact, this is what I propose. The next time you go to class, relieve yourself of the pressure of having all the answers. And also ask a question. Ask like Sugata, why? You know? So when students ask you a question, ask them a bigger question and then pause and let them discover. Let them give you the answers. Assume you don't know. Pretend that you don't. In fact, he proposes a very interesting method called the grandmother method. You know how grandmothers do it? You know, they make you feel like you're the hero if you do something. And even if your grandmother knows how it works, she will say, "How did you do that? That's amazing. I've never seen." You know, so he was proposing that we could also incorporate that in our class and let the students surprise you. Look surprised, although you're not. You know, I mean, pretend to be surprised. But it works. So the next time you go to class, relieve yourself of the pressure of having answers. And in fact, this is what Sugata suggests. Don't make learning happen. Let it happen.